Welcome to the Faces of Acupuncture. I am your host, Dumisani Kampishampa. Today we have Dr. Chester TeraTencht Phillips, a Chinese medicine practitioner and a massage therapist. TeraTencht, can I call you that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Why don't you give the audience a little rundown? I don't want your bio, your whole bio. I just want you to run down a few things about yourself so they know where you're coming from. Okay?
Okay, sure. I have an undergraduate degree in business, bachelor's of business administration, and I had worked for a Fortune 500 company as a financial analyst. And I was there for about 7, 8 years or so. And I had an opportunity to be in corporate, one of the few black faces in corporate. And I had an opportunity to look at all the presidents and vice presidents and see how they was living and invited to their homes and things like that. And I just realized how empty and shallow their lives were. They lived in the best neighborhoods. They owned the best cars. The kids went to the best schools, and yet and still, they lived in fear of losing their jobs every day. Their families didn't know them. Their children didn't know them. So I didn't want to live like that. I wanted my life to be meaningful in the sense that I wanted to be able to help other people and touch people's lives, whether or not,
So wait, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
go ahead.
How long ago was that?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Give us a year.
Okay.
Or just pick one out of.
I got out of college in '76.
Okay.
All right, and I was with this company until 80, 76, 80, about 84, 85.
Okay.
All right. So I guess I had like an epiphany, so to speak. So I wanted my life. I wanted to do something. I wanted to just reach out and touch people.
That was almost 40 years ago.
Yeah, at least. So I went to massage school. Initially, I went to massage school because I says, well, I really don't want to go back to school for another 5 or 6 years. I don't want to do that. So I did massage. So when I was coming to the end of that program, the president of the school had just gotten back from China, and he came in and he asked for volunteers, and he touched people's wrists. He looked at their tongues, and then told them what their maladies were, and then proceeded to treat them with acupuncture. And people fell into a deep relaxation state, and when they came out of that state, they felt marvelous. And my brain just says, wow, I just got to learn that. Where can I learn that? This is damn near magic. This is just phenomenal. Primarily what I'm doing now is I'm doing community medicine. I'm working out of different churches, the Sarasat Church specifically, and I treat the community members and public, and they give me space to practice there, and I practice with reduced rates.
Okay.
So the people have an opportunity to come in and experience what acupuncture and Chinese medicine and alternative medicine healing is, and African medicine. I'm also a priest in the Kemetic tradition. So I blend all of those concepts together, and I treat people to help heal them.
Okay. So talk about how you got trained originally. What? Because when you were you're interested in this, there were no schools in in the United States on the East Coast, right?
No, no, there were none. So I found out there was a school um, in Canada.
How did you find out about that school?
Well, somebody within the in the either in the massage class that I was taking, they were going to they were actually going to Montreal on the weekends, and I had contacted the school, and then I found out that there was a woman in Harlem who was setting up an association with this school so that we wouldn't have to travel. We would have to go to Canada for the end of the cycle exams and for the certifying exams, but we would actually be practicing in Harlem.
Well, who is that? Who is that person that you?
Uruyawana Trinidad, very very powerful woman, very knowledgeable, and she brought other practitioners, people who had trained, who were being trained by this particular school, and she brought them down to train us.
I met Dr. Trinidad a couple of times. She was, like you said, she was a force of nature.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a force of nature,
Yes.
and very, very political.
Very,
Very on point. You know, liberation, straight
Yes.
up. No,
straight.
no, liberation, no chaser.
No chaser. She was a goon.
Yes, yes, yes. That was her, or that is her. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the cultural and the spiritual side of your whole idea and philosophy around healing and illness, and give us some insight. How do you see it?
Illness is an imbalance between the person and their environment. When you ignore the environment, when you eat things out of season, when you're not resting according to the rising and setting of the sun, you will eventually put yourself in a state of imbalance. And once you put yourself in a state of imbalance, then you leave yourself open to disharmonies, and those disharmonies will change into, in the long term, those disharmonies will turn into diseases.
And so, in terms of the spiritual side, how do you see that in terms of your work?
People need to get in contact with who they are. They need to get in contact with their ancestors to see where they come from and when they come from. African American people, we live in a state of PTSD. We're psychologically disconnected from our roots, and as such, we're prone to a lot of psychological manipulations by this particular environment. So, understanding who you are, you can get grounded in worshiping the gods or goddesses or deities of your ancestors is a key for a foundation of a solid psychological impact. So understanding who you are grounds you and prevents the environment from being able to manipulate you and manipulate your emotions and manipulate your presence of mind.
Okay. Okay. So, in Chinese medicine, the idea of psych is, the same thing as spirit, right?
Spirit.
Yeah. So, if you have a spirit disease, is Chinese medicine can it help you?
Well, yes, they have different acupuncture points, the spirit points.
Okay, how about okay, I mean, I don't want to know the points. I just want to know, is it like, for example, what would be considered a spirit disease?
Um, Anxiety,
Okay,
depression,
okay,
um, uh, uh, um, um, feelings of holding. Recently I had a patient who was um, had spasms in their upper part of their body, in their chest and their back, and they found themselves going, throughout the day,
okay,
right? And they're holding and holding. So when I touch their pulses and things like that, um, what I got back was with constrained liver qi.
okay. Well,
So,
explain to the audience what constrained liver qi. What would we call it in the West in biomedicine?
I don't
Well,
know. Let's
well, let's just cut to the chase and make it a one-word answer. Like, that's stress, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
stress,
yeah.
overwhelming
Stress.
stress,
Yeah, yeah.
overwhelming stress.
Stress. Okay.
Right? When people are reacting to their environment, and they're just feeling all stressed out.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then. Um, Overwhelming stress. Now, if a person is in an environment where they're unconscious of the stress that's circulating in their spirit. So what effect is that? I mean, how do you deal with that?
Well, so what happens is that what I do, I tell them that when I feel these particular pulses, then people are generally having these types of issues in terms of they may have hypertension, they may have inability to express anger, they may be holding anger, they may be not being able to um, uh, take someone else's anger or the inability to express themselves. So in the process of me listing out what these pulses are, the patient will generally say, yes, that's what
Okay.
I feel.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not able to do that. Yes, this has been going on for a while, or my mate is doing this, or I'm at this particular job and they don't respect me and I can't do X, Y, Z. So in their inability to express themselves, they're generating this internal pressure, which is an imbalance. And so what the acupuncture will do is to help bring them back. And I do warn them that in the process of being treated, if you're having an inability to express yourself, you will be able to express yourself, but make sure that you do it in a manner that won't get you into trouble. But yes, you will be able to express that, and that's the whole idea, to bring you back in balance,
Yes.
to be able to express what's
Yes.
going on and how you feel.
Okay. Are you familiar with the book, the Yi Jing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the Yi Jing, and do you use it in your practice?
The I Ching is an oracle. I have not used it.
Okay.
Um, and there are other kinds of oracles, but I haven't used the oracles because at this point in my life, when I touch when I read someone pulses in tongues, um, um, I'm very much intuiting what their spiritual imbalances are at
Okay.
this point.
You ever read for a backup to see if, just to get a backup to your.
Yes, I have done that.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have
So
done
you
that.
use that. Okay. So that's a
Yeah.
good way. That's an interesting way to use it.
Yeah.
How about other oracle systems? Have you worked with other oracle
I
systems?
worked with the Medusa Tear.
Okay. What is that?
That's the Word of God oracle
It's
system.
is it a tarot deck?
No, it's a different type of deck, and this deck is based upon the Comitian deities, the ancient Egyptian deities, and
Okay.
and those deities are really not deities in the sense
What are they
of
then?
gods. There are what they are is an expression of the different aspects of ourselves.
Okay.
Right.
Different
So,
qualities, different personalities.
different personalities, different qualities, different manifestations that we all carry, and then some of us will express the each deity or different deity at a stronger time or stronger aspect of it according to what's going on in their life, or they may be expressing a particular deity as their character, right? But they may not know that that's what they're doing.
But as a practitioner, you can kind of see that, and when you do your reading, so to speak, with the oracle, you can kind of get an idea of what's going on with the person. Do you use it that way?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't, but not at this point.
Okay.
Not at this point in my practice.
Okay.
And
Okay.
at this point, I'm pretty much on target.
Okay.
When people walk in and they
no, this is a confirmation thing.
Yeah.
So all I'm talking about is mainly confirmation.
Yes. So sometimes what I'll do if I'm putting together a herbal formula for someone, right, and I do the tongue and the pulse and things, and I says, you know something, and I have a list of 2 or 3 different formulas, and sometimes, as you know, those formulas are just a little bit different. They're not
the tweaking of it.
Yeah, you got to tweak them. So what I'll do a reading to say which one would be more efficacious than other.
Okay.
And more times than not, it'd be the one that I'm selecting, and sometimes it may be a little bit different. And I go, oh, okay, I can see that. I kind of see myself as giving people an opportunity to expand methodologies, giving them an opportunity to experience something that they just never even thought about it. They had no conscious mind of it. As Americans and as African Americans, we don't have Asian medicine in the family. Yeah. So we wouldn't, our grandpa and auntie and the rest of them wasn't, putting acupuncture pins.
You didn't know anything about acupuncture as a kid. That was not a career option for you, huh?
Never. And it happened to be happenstance. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time and get exposure and say, just wow, what is that?
Okay.
Okay,
that's like destiny, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's destiny.
Yeah, like destiny. Yeah. So you were working with HIV, and talk about that.
Right. So after I had after my licensing, my wife was working for an organization that was providing health care and prenatal care and postnatal care for unemployed, low-income women, and also she was working out of I forget not trucks, but health vans.
Yeah.
And she was going to service women living in shelters and on the street, and eventually they built clinics in these areas, and now women were able to go there for healthcare. So the director of this company found out that I do acupuncture, and she wanted to bring that and make that a part of what they were doing at their health clinic. And they had just received funding, Ryan White funding, for HIV and AIDS care. So she wanted me to support, come in there and help these men who were dying of AIDS. So I was providing support, treatment, quality of health treatment for people of having AIDS and HIV, because the drugs at that time was really destroying the gastrointestinal system of people, and there was no other treatment for AIDS and HIV at that time. So at least we were able to, through herbal medicine and acupuncture, give people a little bit more longevity and quality of life while they were going through the HIV disease.
That was what years for that?
That was probably from 1987 to about 90, 91 or something.
That's a lot of people died during that period.
A lot of people passed away.
Yeah, I've seen so many people.
A lot of artistic people.
Yeah.
Broadway was devastated by that. But just families and friends and brothers and just people were dying from HIV.
Yeah, it was terrible. I remember people being wheeled into my clinic in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Can't stand up. They were almost skeletons.
Sure.
And they were just looking for just some kindness or somebody just to treat them.
Just
give them
to be able
care.
to somebody who would just touch
Right.
them because people wouldn't touch
At that
them
time,
because
at that
they
time
didn't,
it was,
they didn't know how HIV was being transmitted.
Yeah.
So they were just like being shunned, really.
Yeah. And a lot of exactly. A lot of people were saying this was like retribution
Yes.
for being gay.
Yes.
And all of this.
A lot of that nonsense.
Yeah, so it was terrible. I mean, it was just heartbreaking just to be there. I give them herbs, whatever I could do to kind of, slow it down and give them some quiet to their pain and
the sarcoma.
Yeah.
Kaposi sarcoma.
Yeah.
Lots of different types of lung and skin cancer.
Infections. Yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a rough period in America for us as practitioners. I remember at that time. It was just rough.
but that really caused the profession to just blossom and just boom because the gay men's health crisis.
Yes.
They says we don't care. We want treatment.
Yes.
And they really pushed for acupuncture to come to the forefront.
Yes, I remember that.
And they really pushed it.
Yeah. So you've been through. You've seen quite a few changes in the world since you've been doing this work.
Yes,
so,
and I've seen that a lot of the standard medicine, which initially said it was quackery, it doesn't make sense, it don't work, and years later, what I see on television is commercials about, well, come to our program. We have integrative care, and they list acupuncture.
Yes.
I'm going like, well, this is a change.
Yes. Well, a National Institutes of Health there's a alternative medicine, site and also part of the agency, and so they do a lot of studies. Now I could just go in there and pop in a study and pop in a question about a disease and acupuncture, and like roll out maybe 100 studies, and I was like, whoa, I'm overwhelmed. How is So it's a lot of stuff out there now. So the people who's getting into it now, it's a whole different world than where we came from.
Sure.
It was very different.
Yeah.
So let me just ask. I think this is going to wrap up here, but I just want to ask you a question about, why you do what you do. What is it